back, Councilman? I think you don't for today.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ming. Council President, at this time, may I have a motion and
So move.
Second.
a second to close the executive session?
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilwoman Velez,
Yes, sir.
and Mims.
Councilman Means. Roll call to close the executive session for item number 8. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davila.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
the vote is 8 in favor, 1 absent. The executive session is now closed for item number 8.
Can we take item number
9.
9
Do you
for
want to have
approval?
number 9 so we can adopt this? Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 9, and item number 9 reads, resolution approving a contract between the City of Paterson and Teamster Local 125, Paterson Dispatchers Union, Law Resolution 22602.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Mims, Mendez, and Udine. Roll call.
The Councilman Mims. Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 9 for approval. Councilman Abdelaziz.
So I'm glad that there's an agreement. I know a couple months ago, there was some standstill, some gridlock between the administration and the union. So I'm happy to see that the union ratified this contract by large numbers. So as I stated, there are dispatchers, you know, that's the first people speak to when they're hurting or in an emergency. They do a great job. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you guys in the 6th Ward, all right? We'll in the new police, or the new dispatch center that definitely is needed for you guys. So my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilwoman Davila.
In agreement with my colleague, Councilman Abdelaziz. I got the floor, Councilman. So I am happy as well to see that finally, and I know to the union members, to the union leader who has been coming here and advocating on behalf of the union, understanding you can never get 100%. And if you do, hallelujah. I know that it was ratified 25 yes, 7 no, but the reality is that when you're looking, you have to look at the bigger picture and the majority of the union members. So, you know, with that said, I'm just happy that we're moving forward. We've asked the CFO, the BA, she's fully aware. I'm constantly on finance, even before, once we knew that it was ratified and we knew it was coming to executive, in finance we have asked to make sure that your retro is done as soon as possible. The CFO hasn't said for sure yes, but within 2 weeks or so, somewhere around November, is when hopefully you're going to see that retro, all right? So with that said, I'm happy. Thank you to the administration, Corporation Council, thank you as well. My vote is yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm definitely very pleased to see that the union leaders came into an agreement with the administration, with this settlement, and the voting number. I'm very satisfied because I see that a mass majority vote for this. So it looked like this is the type of deal that they've been looking for. So my vote is yes, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Mims.
So I agree with all that's been stated. One thing that I always hear, people say, well, you should advocate for us, you should advocate, but the role of union representatives and shop stewards are to advocate and come to the table for what they feel is in the best interest of the employees that are in their department. With that being said, after they do that, then they have to vote on what has been decided. Once it comes to us and we see a ratification, that's why I always ask that it's included, that we see that there's a majority vote. How do we go against the majority? The majority of people in this particular union voted in favor of this agreement. So for me, I have to stand with the 25 people that said yes, and my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Udine.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As a Paterson public school teacher, I can relate myself with working on an expired contract. The Paterson dispatcher's contract was expired on June 30th, 2019, and they're still working. They're committed to Paterson, and we are going to vote for another contract. Along with our dispatchers, hope Paterson Public School employees also get the contract as soon as possible. With that being said, and with my understanding, I am proud and I feel so happy to say okay with this, because when you're working with not with an expired contract, you know the hardship of the family, because nothing goes high. You're working, the salary you're getting paid, which is, think about 5 years ago what was issued, and you are getting the same salary. But think about our daily expenses after 5 years, how high it is right now. So with that being said, my vote is yes.
Councilman Velez?
So as Councilman Udine stated, expires June 30th, 2019, and all the councilmen here could agree that after that, we fall into a pandemic. Dispatcher, for me, was front line responder. Why? They was in those phones, taking calls from distressed people, people dying, and they was doing their job without setting back. Coming to work because they knew they had a responsibility to serve the community. In my personal note, I had to thank every dispatcher that pick up a call when I call into dispatch. Sometimes sound rough for me, right? But they are good people. As Councilwoman Davila stated, I'm looking at a chart here. The chart is clear enough. Hopefully, in 2023, they are certified what they agreed. And moving forward, Madam BA, I always tell any union out there, do not settle for less. Always ask for more, and let the administration give what you guys deserve. And our side here, as a legislator, we are pro-unions. I am pro-union, so I know Teamsters for longest. So, saying that, hopefully they could enjoy their retro. There's a lot of them probably facing eviction at this time, and they need that money to move forward for other things. Not taking away that they need also a good vacation. For vacation, they need money. So saying that, my vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This delay of this contract agreement has nothing to do with this council. I just want to clarify that. Your contracts expire in 2019. Your labor lawyer and the city administration, our lawyer, that has to come to an agreement. We just voting on it to just approve the contract. It's the agreement between administration and your lawyer. So this delay, I just want to clarify, has nothing to do with us.
Correct.
My vote is definitely yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. The vote is 8 in favor, 1 absent. Item number 9 is hereby adopted.
Council President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman?
Council President, I wanted to just ask, being that the director is here, if we're able to take the economic development.
Okay. Non-consent agenda item 40 to 47.
46.
Did we do 47?
We haven't done, you want to do 47 first?
No, we're just gonna do in order.
Okay. It starts,
And
starts at
start with
39?
39 actually, Madam Clerk.
Which one?
39.
39, non-consent agenda. Start with 39. We're just gonna
1
go in
second.
order.
Okay, number 39.
Thank you very much, Council President.
Next item on the agenda, on our non-consent agenda, is item number 39. Item number 39 reads resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone Division of the Department of Economic Development to utilize $265,322 of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for administration budget year 2022 to 2023. Finance Resolution 22632.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez and
Councilman,
Councilwoman
I'm Chair
Davila.
of Finance.
She said She said
Second
for
by
us.
Councilman Mendez. Roll call on item number 39.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call for item number
Did I do
39 for
something wrong,
approval. Councilwoman Cotton? Number 39, Councilwoman Cotton?
It's to the left. Exactly, okay,
We both move it, that's okay.
but I'm the chair.
Okay.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
It goes to you.
Roll call on item number 39 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton?
I know it does. I know I wasn't in the room, but I had to step out. My understanding of the Urban Enterprise Zone, UEZ, do we actually know exactly how much money we do collect with our UEZ?
We're on voting session.
They work with grants.
Councilwoman, we're voting now.
Oh, okay.
Pass.
Pass.
Councilwoman Davila?
I'm just so happy that we finally are able to get back to obtaining monies which was cut off from our city quite a few years ago. The fact to see that, we're getting about $10 million, all right, specific to the zones. It's zoned to specific UEZ zones. And to see that the first portion of it, and it's specific, these $10 million are for cleanliness, safety, and some other things that we've been discussing, and this council as a whole have been discussing. And so I'm looking for, this is just the first portion of it, and this one specific is this one is 265,322, and if I'm not mistaken.
All of them, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44.
Right, they're all addressing specific areas in terms of public safety and in cleanliness. And so with that said, I'm supporting this and all of the rest of them, just so you all know. My vote is yes on item 39.
Councilman Jackson?
Abstain.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have a concern with number 40.
It's not 40, we're doing 39.
Before 5, we're in 40, yeah, 39. Then we go 40.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies. I will wait. That discussion start number 39. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
For 39, right?
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
the vote is 7 in favor, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Item number 39 is hereby adopted. Number 40, Mr. President?
Yes.
Next
please,
item is
continue.
item number 40, resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone, Division of the Department of Economic Development, to utilize $1.5 million of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for the Commercial Corridor Quality of Life Off-Duty Police Safety Project. Finance Resolution 22633.
So moved.
Move.
Discussion.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez, Councilman Mendez. Anybody else?
I move it too, Council President.
Okay, Councilman Mendez also moved it. Discussion, Councilwoman Mims?
Yes.
And Council President.
So this particular item, while I have no issues with saying that we want to make sure that our business owners are safe throughout the UEZ zone, in our workshop on last week, so I want to give it to the public, this item is saying that we're going to allocate $1.5 million to different areas of the community to provide stationary police, which means they will be located, and I want to give it to the public. Post 1, downtown Market Street from Memorial to Ciance, assigned 2 officers. Post 2, downtown Main Street, Memorial to Ward, assigned 2 officers. Post 3, South Paterson, Main Street, Crooks Ave to Madison, assigned 2 officers. People Park section, 21st Ave, from Summit to Eastern, assigned 2 officers. But then when you get to Post 5, they're only assigning mobile cameras and floating, and listen to the areas. 10th Ave, Union Ave, Broadway, and Straight Street, with a UEZ, a supervisor assigned. Last week, to the viewing public and to my council members, I pointed this out in workshop, and I stated that if we're gonna be assigning, because we have money to allocate, we should ensure, especially in these particular areas that are directly correlated, when you look at the UEZ map, that's why I asked for it, with some of the hotspot areas. And right after that, after last week's meeting, there was a shooting over near the area. So it was agreed upon last week that this item would be amended. It would be increased to $1.7 million, and the language would change to say that there would be assigned officers, not mobile or floating. None of this language should be here. I questioned it. I sent an email out to our Economic Development Director, Corporation Counsel, and I copied to everyone. And the response I received was, we built a contingency. No. This language, if we have this from the proposal that's attached from our Paterson Police Department, this should be updated. It should be stated factually. Mobile floating should not be here. It should, the same way others are, the dollar amount should change. So I want to put an amendment on the floor to amend this document to represent not to exceed 1.7 million. And I also want this document to reflect that we will have stationary assigned officers in that area. I'm putting that motion on the floor.
They have it. They have it.
Second.
Yeah.
And then we got to vote on it.
Vote on with amendment.
Correct. I got a question.
Wait, we got to vote.
Wait.
Oh, okay. No, parties assigned with that question. I agree with the amendment, but probably that could be answered also with this one. No, because
There is a, one second, there is a motion on
motion and
the
a
floor
second
for
on the floor.
amendment,
Councilwoman Cotton,
by
second.
Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilwoman Cotton and Councilman Udine
Okay, so the
and
motion-
Councilman Mendez.
And me.
Madam Clerk?
Okay, so the motion on the floor by Councilman Mims, and second by Councilwoman Cotton.
And Councilwoman Davila.
And Jackson said, oh, he seconded. You seconded.
I second.
On the amendment,
Yes,
okay,
I second too.
okay. Roll call on item number 40 on the amendments, and Councilwoman Mims stated not to exceed the $1.5 million.
1.7 million.
1.7.
1.7 million, and also 1.7, and also mobile floating should be assigned in the areas of the 10th Avenue area.
For post 5. So mobile and floating, remove that language, and it should say post 5 assigned, just like the other areas of our community.
Okay, so we have to have that, okay. All right. Roll call and,
For voting. For voting.
Okay.
Okay.
What-
Roll call.
No, Council President,
What-
Council.
No, we have a motion, we're voting.
No, because what
Okay.
happened is
No, we not-
Are we-
listen up.
We
Council
have to
President.
After we
amend
voted,
it.
the
She added,
discussion
no,
was continued.
no. Council President, the problem
only
is
one
that
council president.
she adding $200,000 more, so something had to be amended to cut from the other
It
programs.
sure has to cut somewhere.
No,
Yes.
it's not to cut, it's not
No,
to
no,
exceed.
no, no.
To
It doesn't
add,
have to,
to
Councilwoman
add.
Mims. It doesn't have to because there is $10 million.
There's $10 million. He don't have to
Right.
cut, it's $10 million in that fund.
Point of order.
Point of order.
We're in the middle of voting.
Madam
There's
Clerk,
money
roll
there.
call, please.
on the amendment.
Yes.
Right. Roll call on the amendment, Councilwoman Cotton.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I said, sitting down with my Councilwoman Mims, looking at this, when you know where certain things are tough, I always say, get in the car with me and ride. And you can see some of the areas that you really, really need to be in. So, Madam Clerk, with that being said, I'm voting yes to amend it.
Okay.
That we're gonna put in, take out mobile floating and put in people, officers, and add in the $200,000. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Okay, Councilwoman Davila on the amendment.
I am in agreement, walking the beat versus mobile, okay? And as I stated, I'm in support of all of these, these monies coming back to us, and the fact that we have 10 million and we allocated that. I don't see an issue with us adding the 200,000 to have the actual, officers walking the beat. So with that said, my vote is yes.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Definitely in agreement with the changing on 10th Avenue. That section, especially East 29, that's part of the third ward. We're getting that's a very challenging area. But after we vote in director, the discussion continue. Riverside section, Brilliant Avenue is part of the UEZ. And so I need answer for that. How we're gonna also bring police patrolling to this area. Riverside section that is on the other side of the town, Brilliant Avenue, close to Route 20. We need police presence there. That's the next discussion, and that's my request. For now, I'm gonna vote yes on the amendment.
Councilman Mims,
So I'll make another comment, because we're doing the amendment now, and then we'll vote for the item in and of itself. But for me, I'm always, when we come to these meetings and I make a request, if I don't see it, that's why I'm sending an email as a follow-up. I'm gonna keep saying it. If it's not written in detail, it's not going to happen. And so that's why I said, let me amend it on the floor so we can correct the language. We have the money to do it. And I'm also gonna put another request to Economic Development Director and to our BA that when we go to allocate others, we have a great map that is attached. If we would take our hotspot ordinance map and align, because there's other areas on here that are in some other areas where we can definitely do that. I don't see that it will cost us that much more, but it does assist in the work that's being done to help with quality of life in our community. We gotta start doing things right the first time. Although these are great initiatives, but to me, that was a no-brainer to take this map and correlate it to make sure that we stop the crime that's going on in our community. So with that stated, for the amendment, my vote is yes, and I'll speak again after.
thank you. Councilman Udine,
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Director, so if I don't make mistake, we discussed in the workshop session that we are going to change the wording, which is not floating, and we talked about additional $2 million, which is $200,000, right? That's the case? $200,000. We talked about additional 2 officers. That recommendation came from Councilman Al-Aziz, if we can recall. If we keep the same amount of officers, like 5 of them, like 10 of them, we don't need actually additional money. The additional amount came when I talked about that we are removing the wording of floating, and we are going to have officers in the 2nd ward, which is Union Avenue, and also the 4th ward, Broadway and 10th Ave, the section of Paterson, that we're going to add 2 more officers. That was the initial conversation. That was last week. And that needs additional $200,000. Even if we change the wording and if we keep the same amount of officers, we don't need really additional money, because the same budget going to the 10 off-duty officers. So if we talk about that we need to use 2 more $100,000, then it means that we are adding 2 more officers to make sure it's covered. So that also I want to add to this. Also, I had another recommendation. I'm not sure what the answer would be from you, Director, that the stationary cameras versus cameras on wheel. And these stationary cameras are not removable, my understanding. And if this is the case, do we really want stationary cameras or removable cameras? And my point was that since the cameras on wheel are less expensive than the stationary one, then we can have maybe 12 of them with the same price, and at least every single ward is getting at least 2, and it can rotate, depends on the needs of certain area. That was the recommendation that I gave last workshop session. So I think I'll love to hear from you, Director. Since I got this option to just talk a little bit, Mr. Jackson, thank you so very much for a job well done, everything you do every day. And with the amendment, my vote is yes.
Councilman Velez,
I have a problem, big problem. Look at this. I agreed of adding $200,000 more. But look at, and look at this. Downtown Market Street Memorial to Cianci, okay? That's the Fifth Ward now. Downtown Main Street from Memorial to Ward. South Paterson from Main Street, Crooks Avenue to Madison. Look at this. People Park from 21st Avenue from Summer all the way down to East 26 on 21st Avenue. My power, I sat down with you. I say I have two UEZ zones. It's part of UEZ. It's Market Street from Straight Street all the way down to Madison, and Park Avenue from Madison all the way down to Straight Street. The problem I have is that floating officer that is going to be showing in other wards, in other places, there's not enough two officers to cover Union Avenue, Broadway, Straight Street, or whatever. I think it should be more posts and two officers to add in those posts. Because right now, the UEZ zone from Park and Market is business, is residential, it's a high crime area. So if we're gonna cover, listen, Councilman, I don't know if you see what I'm seeing here, but more likely it's gonna be the 6th Ward. It's not gonna be the 6th Ward. I read it to you right now, okay? And then I know there's a word here says tentative. I don't like to see tentative. You know why? You still gotta move it your way. But I wanna see at least, and I spoke to you, Mike Powell, about this assignment. And I be specific to it. Right now, the 5th Ward, the only part it has is the Chianci Street and Market Street. Only that section there, all right? That street there, that section there, that block of UEZ. But right now, I don't see no fairness. What was that? No, it's not my ward. Where? Memorial what? No, it's not.
We are on voting.
That's the first ward.
Councilman Velez.
I know, but that's the first ward, Memorial Ward. Yeah.
More monies to be allotted.
But that's why that's why I want to jump into amendment before going back and forth.
Well, no, we're in
because-
one amendment right now, so you have,
I know, I got one, okay, we go into this amendment, I'm going to do an amendment when I finish this one. My vote is yes.
Council President,
They know. My vote is yes, I'm going to do an amendment after this one.
Mr. President,
More polls with two officers.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think it's completely, it mapped out completely wrong. So we should table this item and go back to the committee. We should look at the
Motion.
hot spots.
Council President, I put a motion on
I'm
the floor
sorry, I
to
wasn't-
table this
I wasn't-
item.
Council President.
We are on
if I-
amendment now.
The motions.
I understand, but Council President, I understand what you,
I
'cause
would-
you have the right, but I just wanted to just make, because believe it or not, you guys
We
just
are-
mentioned this, Councilwoman and I were just talking about the hotspots, right? And so we already have assigned officers for hotspots.
No.
So, wait,
No.
the patrolling, yes, we do.
No, we don't.
What
They
I-
go
what-
based on calls.
I think, okay, one second. We are on voting session.
No, we finished the voting session, Council.
Council, I'm the last person to vote
you
on
haven't
on the
voted?
amendment.
You have the floor,
Let
Council
me know.
President.
Mr. President, before, if I may, since we haven't taken action, I haven't announced the vote, and there's so much changes
Right.
on this item, we could stop the voting.
Move to table.
They can,
I think we should
Call
move to,
their
yes, we're gonna
motion
stop
to
the
table.
motion to table this item.
And
I think we
then-
need more discussion
and then
about
what we
the
could do,
director.
Mr.
I second the
President,
motion to table.
Mr. President, what we could do, it's a resolution, we can just take it off.
Yes.
Yes.
It
just
doesn't
take it
have to
off.
do
So-
a motion and a second to table.
Well, that means we have to
So-
remove our motion, correct?
So everyone will withdraw their vote for the amendment.
Yeah, I
Okay,
withdraw
so-
my vote.
We
and
all
I-
of us
withdraw my
withdraw
vote.
vote.
Okay,
And
so
also, the motion that was on the floor, Councilwoman?
yeah, so before I make the motion, I'm gonna go back to what I said in workshop. This item should be aligned with the hotspots. It's great that we wanna help our business owners, but we can't forget about the residents. They're the people that we should be protecting
They are in the UEZ zone
and
too.
serving. UEZ, we understand urban enterprise zone is located in certain corridors, but when you look at the map that is given to us, they are directly in areas where there are shootings and
Yes.
crime. It doesn't make sense to present an item like this and not have that in the forefront of your mind, that we're only thinking about businesses. If your mindset is just businesses, residents, we have to really pay attention to that. I asked for the map, and we got it. This UEZ map, business corridor, we have hotspot issues as well.
We'll go back to the drawing
Just
board.
correlate it to that, bring us some different locations, we'll take a look at it. Let's keep all of our people
And
safe.
Council
Council-
I-
Council President.
Council President.
I'm that.
Can-
Madam
the
Clerk.
chair-
Wait,
Coun-
let me
coun-
remove-
council-
let me
council
remove my
members,
motion.
please.
I want to remove my
Did you
motion.
withdraw your
I'm doing it now. I would like to remove my motion, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
I have
And
to
then
remove mine.
Councilwoman Cotton, I think, and Councilman Davila
Yeah,
seconded.
I have
on the
to remove
amendment.
Right, but before I remove it, because she removed, but I'm not removing yet, because I just want to say this. We have quality of life units. We have hotspots that are clearly, and I'm not saying I don't agree, Councilman, with what you were trying to do with the amendment, but UEZ funding is specific to the areas of the business zones, okay?
No,
That's
you
why
say-
they pay, that's why they have that break.
But Council-
So I'm in agreement that we needed to have more, like physical boots on the ground. I'm not for one to put this and table it, I'm not.
But-
We
but
can-
hold on,
We can
Councilwoman.
we can address in another way, we can address in another way.
10th Avenue is
the
UEZ zone.
Additional, because we have quality of life units that yes, we do, all right? And we have, I'm thinking that this is going to add, with the amendment that you stated, Councilwoman, it will add to what already we have in terms of the hotspots and the quality of life units,
of life.
in addition to the units that we're working with the sheriff department.
Okay.
Thank,
So,
are you
Council-
done, Councilman?
but-
Oh, 1 second, one at a time, please, council member, please. Otherwise, we're gonna be here till 2 o'clock. Otherwise, we will be here I agree with you, Councilwoman Davila, but in this, specifically in this resolution, I think we need to work with the police department as well. They need to be on that table
Right.
and
Public
see
safety.
what do they have in place already.
Public
Since
safety.
you're talking
Okay, so
about-
with that said, in public safety, we
Thank
have
you.
Councilwoman Mims and we have Councilwoman
Thank you.
Cotton. All right, this is an economic development item,
Yes,
but
yes.
if we, as a council, and we have Councilman Velez, then we can definitely bring it back. I just need you to know that I was not supporting removing it today, just letting you know
Council
that.
President, I just want to tell Councilwoman Davila that the UEZ zone include residential too, because Park
Look,
Avenue,
Whole
Market
Street,
Street is
Park
commercial and park. Yeah, they mix use, they have, and the thing is that.
Okay.
if
Okay,
you-
thank you.
Yeah, we could.
Okay,
tell-
Madam Clerk, can you continue, please?
And also, they could identify more money to put
Please,
in.
one at a time, please.
So Councilman Davila, you withdraw your second on the amendment, and Councilwoman Cotton as well?
I did.
On the
I
amendment.
will,
Withdraw your, okay.
right, I will withdraw
And
it,
all
but-
the votes that Councilman Cotton, Davila, Jackson.
Everybody.
Everyone has withdrawn that.
Yeah.
So we had the main motion on the floor for Councilman Davila when we opened up the item. So Councilman Davila, will you withdraw that motion as well
No,
Which one?
from the beginning, when we read the item?
So I was the one that second, so I removed it. Yeah.
Okay. She's now withdrawing, so is anybody,
I removed my second,
He
so she
removed
not
his
withdrawing, so
second.
nobody second.
he
And I
removed.
remove my second too.
Go ahead, what do we do now?
So
gonna stand my ground.
Council President,
so Councilman Davila is not withdrawing her, so it failed for lack of motion.
Correct. So
Okay,
we
thank
send it
you.
back to committee.
So at this point, we'll take it off for and they will discuss it another time.
Thank you.
So I'll just put that off.
Council President,
Thank you.
I just,
For the
Council
record,
President.
item number
Councilman, can
14
you
is taken
continue
off.
with the agenda? That item is, we're done with, we'll discuss it later, and we'll
We
continue.
could bring it for the regular reading after workshop.
Council President, the only thing I want to put on the floor and on the record,
Okay.
when we call an economic development meeting, and when we call and I don't really have the issue with public safety because we're all there, people need to show up. Okay, the concerns, they can address it in that meeting, and then it comes, this item came to workshop as well. And Councilwoman Mims, I know that you put certain things on, absolutely, just like Councilman Abdelaziz did as well. I'm just saying, because you know what, this is, half an hour on an item, we didn't need to do this today. We could have done that, and we could have removed it and not moved forward with it, and now we're removing it. So I just hope that the next items that we discussed already, and were discussed in committee, and that every committee member, which is, I have the sheet, approve this to go forward, okay? I just want us to be conscious, so Council President, if you could just move forward with calling the items and we go up and down, yes or no, I would really appreciate that. If not, then I am going to have to
yeah.
remove myself from the meeting.
Council
Thank you.
President.
Mr.
Can-
President, item,
Can we continue, Councilwoman? Carter?
item
I
number
know, but
40,
everybody
are we
was just going
putting
over.
it?
I couldn't get in, like you was to the left.
What, council members? One at a time, please. Councilwoman Carter?
Okay. I just want to say too that, the hotspot ordinance has really been, a ordinance that people, some council member likes this. I personally love the hotspot ordinance. Out of the 18 that we have, 8 is in the 4th ward. So I got half of them almost in my ward. And you got to put more than 3 of them out of the 8 in there because, and then you really have to look at it because my hotspot is on Godwood 12th Avenue between Straight Street all the way up to East 24th Street. That's a hotspot for me. I mean, 10th Avenue all the way from Lafayette to, East 16th all the way to 28th Street. Those are hot spots. We're gonna like Councilwoman Davila said, I'm a big believer in having committee meetings. Some people do not believe in having committee meetings, but I find that if you have committee meetings and if there's certain people in that meeting, they know how to ask the right questions in those committee meetings. Wait
now, where we are right now?
a second.
We are in twilight zone.
Committee
Continue,
meetings.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Let me tell you something. I always said that committee meetings are very, very important.
Thank you.
It's very important, and some of us have better expertise in certain areas of different committees that's on that we have to be on. But it's important that you show up, council members. If you can't make a meeting, you send out so many emails and nobody answers emails. Nobody answers emails. Or you attended a meeting, nobody answered. So we got to go back to making sure that those committee meetings are important, Council
Thank
President.
you, Councilwoman. Item number 41, Madam Clerk?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Quick question. Item number 40, they're just going to bring it back for discussion in the committee?
We're going to go to committee meeting.
This one,
Committee.
number 40.
Committee.
It's going to go back to the
Okay,
committee.
it's going back to the, okay, all right, thank you. So next one is 41, Mr. President?
Yes, please.
Yeah, next item is item number 41, resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone, Division of Department of Economic Development to utilize $200,000 of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for a 5-year strategic plan study, finance resolution 22634.
So move.
Discussion.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Davila and Councilwoman Mims.
No,
Roll call.
no, I didn't second.
No.
No,
She didn't second, she said
I said discussion.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, discussion, Councilwoman Mims.
So this item, we've been awarded $10 million in urban enterprise zone funds. So here's another item under that same umbrella. This one is to use $200,000 for a 5-year strategic plan study. If our economic development director, if you can come to the microphone and give an overview to the public. Director Powell. Can you give an overview to the public for the $200,000 usage that will be coming out of the UEZ funds for a 5-year strategic plan study?
Absolutely. So, and I think it's important for me to also clarify some of the discussion items that happened previously. So, Councilwoman Mims, in all due respect, what I wanted to tell you is that what I learned is that with regards to the budget, we actually have $160,000 left in the budget because my director had planned to increase the number of police on the ground for the holiday times and or if it's needed.
Let's
So-
discuss that in committee.
That's
Yes.
fine. I
Discuss
just,
it 41.
but I want you, like that, out of respect, the point was, A, I was able to save money, and B, what I also learned in the process, because don't forget, they modified some of the rules with regards to the UEZ program. And one of the things that I was trying to tell you just now, Councilman Velez, is there are caps on how much we can use UEZ funds as it relates to police. So,
Oh, wow.
So-
You will have a discussion on
Director-
another time. Item 41, please,
Wait,
Director.
but I have to address that, Council President, because he caught me out, so I gotta address it.
What do you mean?
So let me just say this. I know it's going back to committee, for discussion, but it's amazing to me when it comes to certain areas of our city, there's a cap. When this was presented to us, we didn't talk about a cap of what there was a limit to police, how much. There's no cap. It's easy. If you're using the urban enterprise zone
That's your
dollars, and you have areas that are connected to the hotspot areas, when you first put it together, that should have been a thought process or a part of the plan. It was not. So last week in workshop, I stated it and said, let's do it. It was agreed upon here in the workshop. We get our paperwork, and all of a sudden it's not here. I send an email because I don't want the public to feel that Mims is trying to showboat. Mims is not showboating. I sent an email right after we got our packet on Friday questioning why was what not was discussed and agreed upon in the workshop not done. And I was told, well, it's going to be contingent. No, we agreed upon one thing. It's not what you decide to do. We are the governing legislative body of the council. And when we decide upon stuff, when it comes here, we amend it or whatever we do to vote it up or down, that is under our purview. So it's not you're correcting me, Director Powell. This is the process of the flow of how it's done. There was an agreement last week. We're going to amend it. It wasn't done. So, I mean, we
Councilwoman,
could roll the tape back.
I wasn't trying to correct you. What I'm
Okay,
trying-
well, Director Powell, we're on item 41 now. That item is going back to committee. We can talk about it then. But I think, Madam BA, as well as Corporation Counsel, a great idea. If we're going to really benefit our community, let's make sure that we look at the correlation of UEZ zone with hotspot areas. Because you can't say, well, we want to make sure people shop safe if they can't walk to the store to get the clothes or the shoes out the store. So we have to think more proactively in a city where shootings are happening every single day. So I'm just going to put that on the record. Back to 41, where that's what I asked for, an update to the community on why we're taking $200,000 out of this money to do a 5-year strategic plan study.
Okay, so as I mentioned, the program was kind of frozen several administrations ago, and so a requirement of the program is to have a 5-year zone plan. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting that forward. So in this plan, which I'm looking forward for having council feedback, input, and the like, is that we get to build a 5-year plan with major priorities. Maybe it's overlaying hotspots with commercial corridors. Maybe it's coming up with an instant, determination in terms of how do we utilize the cameras. We test all of these 6 things that I'm putting in motion because we're not going to get it all perfect really out the gate. But by working together to figure out what's working and what's not and adapting it accordingly, then we can create better programs and presence and impact in the communities and in the neighborhoods and in the commercial corridors that we really needed. And so this wasn't designed to be perfect out the gate. It's designed to move rapidly so we can get presence out there because we need it. And so that's all I just, and I think part of this is, I think at this point you guys know my commitment to the city and what it is that I'm trying to do here. And so if there's not a certain level of trust, I mean, that's what I'm feeling right now. And so I feel bad about that. So-
No, don't feel bad.
No, we trust in you.
Point of order, Council President. Let me say this. We, as a governing body, we can question you. That is our job. Because you're coming to us to vote on money that was given to the city to move the city forward. So you can't get in your personal feelings or have issues because we're questioning or thinking that it's personal. It's not personal. You're coming to us to ask us to take from the $10 million, 3.4 or $5 million to allocate to these areas. Now, we could sit here all we want and not say anything, but last week the workshops are not televised. Tonight it is. The community needs to hear what you're doing before we vote on it. I just asked you for an overview. I didn't say I'm voting yes, no, none of that. I said, could you tell the community why you need $200,000 for a 5-year strategic plan study? That's all I asked. It's not a personal, it's not an attack, it's nothing against you. This is what's before us. I have an issue with that we can't even question you. What is going on?
So, Council President.
Council President, can he
please.
answer?
Yes, 1 second. We cannot, all of us cannot talk at the same time.
Yeah, but
Director Powell?
That is-
Yes, what's the plan with this $200,000?
It's to build a 5-year strategic plan for the entire UEZ program across the city.
Okay.
And this is a proposal.
President.
It's a proposal.
President,
It's a proposal,
I-
and you're gonna put out for bid, then it's
Correct.
gonna come in front of us
Right.
for approval, correct?
That is correct.
And the proposal gonna have the outline and the work of the study.
Yeah, and future projects and initiatives and the like,
Correct.
of which I'm
Councilman,
looking
Okay.
that's
forward.
what
Thank
you've
you.
been asking. You
Council
always talk
President.
about,
If all of us talk at the same time, nobody's gonna hear.
Council President,
okay.
I need to,
I
If
asked
I
the
may.
floor.
Councilman Mendez?
No,
And Director, I think that, listen, there's one thing that is important that you understand that. And as Councilwoman Mims mentioned before, I mean, that's our job to question you and have this dialogue. But you gotta think about one thing. We're getting $10 million. We have to use this money wisely and effectively. And I make the request of the map, but at the same time, listen, if we look at those zones, I mean, we're gonna have a very sensitive discussion because a lot of things need to change. But it's important that you understand that you have to be ready for us to question you because we want to make things right. After we spend $10 million, we gotta make sure that we impact the community on a positive way with those $10 million.
Okay,
Council-
anybody else?
yes, I do.
I do, Council President.
I do.
Councilman Velez?
Thank you. Director Powell,
Yes.
you said that this is to do a 5-year strategic plan study, okay? So I got to concentrate on the study. And you mentioned about public safety and all that stuff in your plan. Don't you have the data already from the police? You had data from the police, the hotspot study, the crime rate or the call of service that being in different areas. That is already laid out. If you ask the director of police, I want to create a strong plan. Let me get this data. And then you, as an expert planner that you are, okay, you lay out the plan.
Absolutely.
We
yeah.
trust in you that you could do it. So why we had to put $200,000 on a private firm to do a study that you could do?
Because it's specifically for UEZ and the use of UEZ funds.
Still, you could ask the director of public safety or the police, let me have the statistic of crime in the UEZ zone. Let me have,
It
let me
doesn't
have,
work like that, Councilman.
let me have your statistic and how many businesses we have that needs improvement in the UEZ zone. How many things we have to change UEZ
It doesn't
zone.
work like that, Councilman. And this plan, when you go out for bid, you come in front of us with,
Oh, okay.
in front of us. We have to approve it.
You have to approve it, you have to agree
Right,
with
we have
it.
to look at the scope of work, this whatever firm, if we ever decide to hire, scope of work, what
I know.
plan, what studies
FSF
they're gonna do.
financial.
Okay, so can we go for a vote?
Anybody else?
Ruby.
Councilman Cotton?
you know, Director Michael Powell, you know, this is a 5-year plan, 200,000 divided by 5. That's what it is, right? Was it 200,000 per year?
No, so the total cost is to earmark $200,000 to do an RFP to make a 5-year plan.
Oh, they're gonna give us, but they might only work a month. I mean, they might work a year, but they're gonna give us a 5-year plan.
They might take a year to finish.
Right, they
the-
might take a
correct,
year.
yep, yep.
Right. Now, I mean, I can see that on the part, but you know what? But when you look at all of this now, Mr. Powell, Director, then three more items down, you want another 300,000 for marketing. What are they gonna be marketing?
Well, we'll get to that one.
Like, what are they gonna market like?
Councilwoman, when we get to
I
that item, we
understand
can
that,
address
but, I mean, look, and then you know what? 700,000, wait a second, everyone. 700,000 for garbage cans again. You're not putting no more garbage cans around our city because they don't clean up the ones that we got sitting here now.
No, those are
These
different.
are still receptacles. Somebody gotta clean them. Somebody gotta empty them.
Council
What are you
President.
talking about?
No, Council President, listen,
Let's vote up or down.
41,
That's
41,
all, no, because I'm just,
Roll call on
can't,
item
I
number
can't.
41, Madam Clerk.
41.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yeah, roll call on item number 41.
Yes, sir. Roll call on item number 41 for approval.
41 's
Councilwoman Cotton?
Fine, 41 is different than 42.
Councilwoman Khan.
41.
Item 41.
Oh, you mixing.
No,
No,
item number
no.
41.
no, because, okay, you know what? I don't know, I'm just,
41 is
I'm,
different.
I know what it is. It's for 200,000, but when I start looking at the rest of these items out here, we got 3 more items to bid on that I think it's not making sense. I mean, some of this stuff is just not right. I done been through all of this with the UEZ. You know, it seemed like to me, why do we gotta, I don't understand why we got a department over there with a UEZ that they can't come up with something either. I don't understand it. Why they can't come up with something? So, my vote is no.
Yes, Councilman Davila?
I honestly, I can't, and I'm gonna ask my colleagues, you have the right to vote it up or down, but I'm just asking, we constantly talk about that we need planning. This is a proposal to go out. Let us not discuss the other items right now because this one is specific to the proposal for a 5-year plan. The other ones pertaining to, and I don't even want to mention. So with that said, council members, and you know, it's clear to me, and Director, it's clear to me that the message has not been addressed, you know, and I think it not going into a full discussion and last week, okay, I just don't understand how it is that, you know, some individuals do not, and don't take it personal, but, you know, don't really trust your judgment with certain things, okay? And here now it is, you're trying to bring a proposal to bring in an expert in the area of UEZ, right? And to do this plan for us, the city, the 3rd largest city, and we're voting no. I don't understand that. So for, okay, anyway, so my vote is yes on this proposal,
thank
which
you.
I know will have to come back to us so we can vote. Okay, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez? Number 41.
Abstain, Madam Clerk.
Abstain. Councilman Mims?
So to Paterson, let me say this. You elected me to sit here and to do your bidding. And if I have a question for this administration, their responsibility is to answer. I have definitely been someone sitting on this side asking for plans. But we have a lot of people in place in our community, in this administration, innovation strategists, all these people that are supposed to do numbers and data and all types of stuff. And so now we get $10 million to be able to do some other things in the city under whatever the auspices of the money to allocate it. And so I question $200,000 to do a 5-year strategic plan. Now, I'm not sure if anyone knows what that entails, but I'm going to tell you because I've created them and I've done them for over 20 years. Even if it goes out to bid, there's always an opportunity that there may be an increase based on the scope of work, whether it's time, whether it's the resources, whether so many different factors that come into play when they go in to say, we're doing it for the for the entire city. We have to make some amendments and some adjustments, so this can easily shift. So you know what, Paterson? I'm gonna vote in favor of you tonight. I'm not, if we have this 200,000, let's find some other areas to invest it in. My vote is no.
Councilman Udine?
Pass.
Did you say yes? Pass? Okay. Councilman Velez?
So when you sit in committee and discuss this, Mike Powell, every grant funding that comes from the states brings the book of instruction, how to receive it, when to expend it, what's the time limit on it, and if we don't expend it, we don't want to return money back, right? So this is what allocated to our city more than 6 months ago. When they announced, when Governor Murphy announced that we receiving $10 million, I got happy because UEZ was ignored left and right. I commend Penny for the little funding that she had, that she could have this clean corridors, all right? And she worked it fine. Now that we have all this funding coming in, the instruction says that you need to have a plan set. The problem that we have here is a lack of communication. Ladies and gentlemen, the same way of the $63 million that we received from the RRP, there was a press conference, and you was, Mike Powell, everybody there, I was there, I saw this big book that says the book of instruction, how to spend that money, where to spend it, and whatever. I saw it myself. So for the future, I would recommend, if we receive a penny and it comes with instruction, give us the idea what those instruction is to everybody, and we'll be in the same page. Not just say we're gonna have this plan because we need a plan. Yeah, but the instruction says that you need a plan. Every funded, federal, state, I don't see county, right? But every funding that comes federal, state, comes with a book of instructions and a deadline on it. So saying that, Mike Powell, knowing the process of the money sitting right now in the bank without spending it, okay, we need a plan. But please, when you go to that proposal, make sure that whoever's doing a plan understand that there's 9 council members in this side that need to be instructed too. Saying that, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Udine?
So, yeah, we talked about number 4D, which is, I believe, the changes coming. We're going to sit down in the Community Development Committee and Public Safety Committee. And this one, we are talking about $200,000, which is 5 years strategic plan. And my vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I mean, almost, we need to have a plan to move the city forward in every areas. So this is a grant money. This is not like we are awarding $200,000 to somebody. It's just a proposal. We're gonna put the bid out there with the criteria, and somebody's gonna bid, the lowest bidder will win, and then it will come in front of the council and we'll vote on it. It's not like we are giving away this $200,000, and we keep talking about strategic plan. We need to spend the money to make that plan, and my vote is yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. The vote is 4 in favor, 2 against, 1 abstain, and 2 absent. Item number 41 is hereby adopted.
Item number 42, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Next item is item number 42, resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone Division of Department of Economic Development to utilize $500,000 of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for Clean Commercial Corridors Project. Finance Resolution 22635.
So move.
Move it, Council.
Moved by Councilman Mendez and Councilman Velez.
Exactly. I'm like, he doesn't hear.
Who you telling that we don't go to meeting? I go to meeting.
As the chair of economic development, I can say that a few members do not show up or cannot for whatever reason.
let her know so-
With that said,
Con-
it's here, it came to workshop,
Councilwoman,
it came,
you
but
want-
I'm just gonna say
you-
this, I continue to move items and you do not acknowledge my move.
Whoever I hear first, I would acknowledge that person.
Council President,
And these, all these items
I will
were
yield,
in,
I will yield
were
my
on-
move.
in the workshop. In the workshop, we discussed it. We're just gonna vote on it tonight, up or down. Okay, this item is moved by Councilwoman Davila,
And
second by
yeah.
Councilman
Discussion.
Velez. Discussion,
Okay.
Councilwoman
Councilman
I'm sorry,
Mendez.
Mr. President, if I may. So this moved by Councilwoman Davila, and the second by?
Councilman Velez and Councilman Mendez.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Discussion, Councilwoman Mims.
To our director, could you please give a overview to the community as to what this is for, please?
Sure. This is our Clean Commercial Corridors project, which we ran similarly over in the spring. And this is an opportunity for us to hire outside firms to be responsible for providing a variety of different services in the community, particularly around cleanliness and cleanup and a whole bunch of other things that would also play into like garbage, paper. Employers will be responsible for planters and other things. We've also talked about, cleaning up the grass and the weeds, basically helping to support our DPW workers every stretch of the way, but specifically in the areas that we can and that are associated with the UEZ itself.
Council President.
Are you done, Councilwoman?
I,
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Council President. Director, on page number 2 of the resolution, it said that the company will provide personnel, including one supervisor, 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. From Monday through Sunday. So the idea with this budget, that personnel, are you planning to move the personnel through all the different UEZ zones? Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, basically throughout the entire city in key commercial corridors. And in a perfect world, it would complement what we talked about with the other program too, in terms of where they would be located in terms of their posts. So this is another way, but instead of it being cops and about kind of public safety, this is about cleanliness.
Okay, and I'm just gonna say, Director, when you do something good, we have to acknowledge. You see, this is something that makes sense. I will say, and if we could increase a little bit more, Paterson is filthy. Our commercial area, including UEZ area, they need help. And this is something that I say, okay, you know what? There's no more. Let's move forward.
Thank you.
So, no more. I'm good. I'm done.
Councilman Woodin, then Councilman Velez.
that's what I was saying, hey, first.
Thank you, Council President. Just for clarification, Director, so is there any number of personnel who's going to work the hours?
I think what we're trying to see is what happens when we get the bids back, right? And so it's going to be up to a company to lay out what it is that they're able to do and what their cost is going to be by employee. And so we've laid out some ideas here in terms of a scope of service, but I think the quest is to see what do we get back.
So what my recommendation is that the way you did for item number 40, that he mentioned about post and how many police officers, off-duty officers would be there, and if you lay out something which is how many personnel work to clean, it's just a great idea that you came up with. We need the services. But point is, if you can clarify that how many personnel will work, the timing hour, the 9 o'clock to 3 p.m., and whether these individuals are going to be on duty with DPW at the same time covering this section, or these are additional employees they are going to spend their time. So if we have that idea, you can know the layout, how many people working, which area they are covering, and how they are prioritizing their job, whether is it going by area or is going by call, or how is it going to be. I think if we have that clarification, then we had the council members have clear knowledge, and also you can talk to the community what this is what coming up, and we're getting the services. And Director, again, I commend you everything you are doing. Item number 40 was not going back. Does not mean anything was taken personally. It's all about we adjustment the community needs. Nothing personal. amazing job that you are doing. We commend you for that, and that's all, Council President.
Thank you.
Council
Di-
President.
Director,
And me.
this item number, we are on item number 42. Yes, we have to put out a proposal out there, right?
Correct.
So that's why the description of how many workers, what are the zone, nothing in there.
Right.
So when proposal go out, or then with that, with the bid amount, it will come back to us
Correct.
for an approval. Discuss, then we'll approve it in the committee, correct?
Yeah, and it hits some
Thank you.
targets like
Hey, Councilman.
employees should be no less than 50% of Paterson residents too, so we can have a local hiring element too.
Correct, Council President.
Director Velez?
Thank you. So, as everybody knows,
I'm gonna make him director, but then when I became
I don't
mayor,
want to be director. We got to find DPW's director. What I concern,
director.
I know this is a midnight question.
He's gonna be my director.
Director, yeah. As my next BA here, but the director, I'm a little bit concerned. And I don't know if you're gonna agree with me. The SID brags a lot in their budget of cleaning their corridors, but yet leave the bags in the corner for DPW to pick it up. Okay? So in other words, that's the SID. In this case, the scope of work that the company is doing, I don't think that we're gonna get enough for $500,000. I don't think. Based on this scope of work, you're talking about curb, paver, street furniture. I hope let me make an announcement. Street furniture store in the corner, put all those furniture on the sidewalk. Be careful, they're gonna be cut up too. Street furniture, trees, look at this, trees, signs, parking meters, utility poles, utility boxes, constable sold. And not only that, talking about in the snow days, remove snow from the curve ADA ramp of designated area. The scope of work that this have, clean of garbage, paper, other objects from sidewalks, street. One supervisor is not enough for all the UEZ zone. It's not. Now, if you tell me that you're gonna do this only for downtown, that's another thing. But for the all entire UEZ zone that we're gonna designate, it's not gonna be $500,000, it's not gonna be enough. Yes, they're gonna pay. You know why? Because they already know out there how much funding we get every year from UEZ. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna give us one supervisor, 2 employees, $500,000. So, the scope of work here, and let me tell you something, it's not telling me how you're gonna break that $500,000 if it's gonna be all year round. It's not saying it, okay?
I can answer that.
But that's your work. The study of you is to put the bid out there when it comes back to us, and if it don't reflect the scope of work and money, be ready. But we're gonna give the green light now.
Thank you. I just want a clarification, Director, before we keep going down on this item. These items are we allocating for specific proposal to go out, correct?
Yes.
So, and the scope of work is gonna be in those proposals.
Correct.
Then with the bid result, you'll bring in front of us to allocate, put the money in specific, in those work, correct?
And then it goes from you guys to the state. So the state still has to ratify what the council puts forward, which is why I'm trying to be conservative with some of the numbers as well.
Council member.
No,
These-
there's a problem in this. In the title and the scope of work is a problem. Look at what the problem I have. The title of the resolution says, resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone Division of Department of Economic Development to utilize $500,000 on Urban Enterprise Zone, UEZ, Assistance Fund for Clean Commercial Corridor Project. But in the body says that they want to hire a company to do the job. Why we cannot do it and hire our own personnel?
You
And
can't,
why not?
well, because
We've done it before.
The idea is to actually have them coordinate with the director of the UEZ, with the supervisor at DPW.
Okay.
And the point was, in order to hire more people, we would be in violation, we'd have to go back to the MOU, we'd have to get waivers, we'd have to, this allows us, much like we did in the spring, to hire a private company and to get out there and start cleaning
So
stuff
you want to
up.
macromanage the service to the city, and that's what I look at it. So you telling me if you divide $500,000 and hire Patersonian that are right now looking for jobs, okay, hire a supervisor that is well experienced in environmental control, and hire those employees, divide those $500,000 in 12 months.
No, Councilman.
We've tried that. I mean, we had a Clean
It
Communities
is-
program where we actually ran it over the summer, and then the idea, and I think our first cohort of folks we were very good at, they worked over the summer, and then they were hired by DPW. We hired about 5 to 10 people. Then the next year, we couldn't get anybody, and the year after that, we couldn't find a soul. Bless you.
Thank you.
You got-
Anybody else?
All right,
One
move to
second. If
vote.
anybody has a question, we should entertain.
Okay.
Can we move forward, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 42 for approval. Councilwoman Khan. Councilwoman Davila.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Director, before my vote, I just gonna make this comment. We gotta be mindful that after we receive, the scope of work and we receive, number back, it might get a little higher, it might get higher, and most likely it's gonna get higher. So there's two things that we have to worry about in the city of Paterson. We gotta clean the city because it's filthy, and we gotta bring safety into our community. With that being said, my two concerns right here is how we're gonna clean the city and how we're gonna do a better job with the police officer, increasing the number and changing them up. So those are the two components. I understand that you got all the area, you got $700,000 for the recycling, but let's be mindful that we might have to go back and redo this based on the scope of work and what we're getting back from the company that planning to participate on the bid.
Agreed.
With that being said, my vote is yes.
Councilman Udine.
So yes, Director, again, it's a lot of work though. And one of the things that most of the demand, I think all the council members are getting called for overgrown grass and branches of trees. I think last many years, I think that was not taken care of. As of now, I think we are getting everyday phone calls. I can say that, all the council members. I know Council President has a long list from second ward, because I'm getting phone calls too. And every ward has that demand for trees. So I believe with that vote, I think that part at least will be taken care of, which is trees. And my vote is yes.
Councilman Velez.
So the employee's gonna work 6 hours only, so if I gotta put at $15 per hour, it's $90. So, a week.
I'll take the job, no worry.
No, I just, Mike Powell,
Yeah.
I trust that you be wise, whoever's gonna bid on this. But one thing I gotta ask, Councilman Mendez is gonna agree. When the proposal is out there, please announce it, Spanish, English, Arabic, everything, and all the language, nobody have excuse. We wanna see everybody participating, all right? Bangla, all the language, all the language. And please, utilize our channel, access channel.
Absolutely.
Madam BA, I want to follow up on the equipment that Mr. Me needs to be installed up there because it's sitting downstairs in IT, just to come upstairs. Given the equipment, he know how to install it. And I revisit this in the next week. My vote is yes.
Councilwoman Mims.
So-
Number 42.
Number 42?
Yes, ma'am.
So, just a point of recommendation, I agree with some of the statements that have already been made, but even with the outline, we've done it on some of the other items, we should have done some level of, or a high-level overview of what our expectations are for this particular item. Perhaps if we're saying 500,000, is it going to exceed, not to exceed, or based on the need? One of the concerns is that we have done the cleanup program previously, so I'm just a little confused why we didn't do use that as towards a needs-based assessment for this program moving forward. Just a recommendation that we should look at what we've done, use that to build when we actually get some companies, when we're doing the scoring system, to make sure that we're cleaning the entire city of Paterson and not just certain segments. With that being stated, if that happens, when it comes back the next time, I'll vote accordingly, but because this is just something to allow us to go out to bid, I'm gonna vote in the affirmative, but making sure that we can put a real plan in place moving forward. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Actually, we should be thankful to the state
Yes.
for giving us this $10 million UEZ grant money. We always complain about dirty street, crime. This is the money we could use to address some of this issue. And definitely my vote is yes, and we should continue with the next item, Madam Clerk.
Your vote, Mr. President?
Yes.
Thank you. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 42 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 43. Resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone Division of Department of Economic Development to utilize $300,000 of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for a marketing and business development project. Finance Resolution 22636.
So move. More press conference.
By Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez. Yes. Discussion, Councilman Mendez.
Thank you. Director, so on 43, so resolution approving enterprise on $300,000 for marketing and business. Can you elaborate a little bit more on this?
Sure. The idea is to basically do the similar thing with regards to getting an outside expert to come in and help us with a marketing business development kind of project overall. And so they're going to be doing, then there's several different bullets that I put here in terms of what that campaign would correspond with. So the first is like design, develop, implement UEZ promotional materials that include marketing kits, newsletters, new trifold brochures, so we can really market the city, as well as our UEZ, the incentives that it provides, and also help change some of the vision of the city, the stigmatization that's out there. We get to do really great material that's going to summarize the benefits of playing in the program, but also what it is that the city's doing. And then we can also put together a series of advertisements, do some new logos, and then on the back end, we talk about banners, you know, like welcome to Eastside Neighborhood, or and we also have a graffiti cleanup element, and then ultimately what we want to do is Restaurant Week, and really celebrate all the culinary expertise that we have throughout the city, but it would be kind of a focus. And
Okay.
so,
Got it. On the last page, I know I got the banner, graffiti cleanup, the restaurant week. So the UEZ will work in conjunction with the Downtown City South Paterson Business Association, Farmer Market, 21st Avenue, and the Merchant Association, Chamber of Commerce, and just those entities. Do we planning to bring all the entity that represent all the area? Because you know you got Downtown Improvement District got their own budget, so they have $300,000 budget, and we adding 300,000. That's 600,000. So I'm concerned. I see Downtown Improvement District. They already got the budget. You got South Paterson here, so we overlapping. We're throwing more money, and Downtown City. That's part of their job. You know, beautifying the area, banner cleaning, graffitis, and.
This is right now marketing. Please stay to task. Let us, it's marketing.
No, but it's, well,
I understand.
I'm reading the body of the resolution. It's listed on the resolution, that's what I'm reading.
well, and Councilman, it's a good point. I think part of this is about coordination, better communication, and figuring out how do we specifically use these resources. These are just the buckets that we're thinking about right now that I think are pretty creative. I think they get at a real need that we have currently, and I think it's a way to complement, not substitute what is happening with these different organizations, meaning the Farmers Market, the Downtown SID, South Paterson Business Association, et cetera. The idea is that we put all hands on deck for a restaurant week, that we want to lift up and help benefit our businesses at our restaurants here, So that hopefully also, by the way, creates more members of the UEZ, because that's a big part of what we're trying to do here, is grow our base
Right.
of members. That also helps us contribute to the amount of dollars that then go into the state coffers writ large. So there's a lot of stuff here, and I appreciate the questions, and we're just trying to move, be quick, but don't hurry, but put some really innovative things that are out there in terms of being able to use this capital.
All right, and I understand where you're coming from, but all my question, and I'm gonna go and look for every cent. That the whole idea is just to try to maximize this $10 million, because I guarantee you, when you come back with a $500,000 to clean, it's gonna go higher, and all the area we're gonna have to invest more money. So we gotta be mindful. So if we have to reduce the budget in one area to increase it in another area for the better of the city, that's what we should do. Thank you, Council President.
So, Council President.
Council member, it's 12:22.
Thank you. It is.
So-
It's
no,
quickly.
no, yes, I'm gonna let you guys speak.
So this is.
Councilman, may I finish? It's 12:22. Some of us has work in the morning, and also we did discuss it in the workshop as well.
Correct. So this is quick.
Please be mindful of the time.
I will.
That's all I'm asking for.
So, Mr. Powell, and this would trouble me. When you talk about UEZ, is a big UEZ zone. Don't talk and invest only in downtown. Ladies and gentlemen, 10th Avenue, Union Avenue has restaurant. They need to be boosted too.
Agreed.
The Sixth Ward is not the only one that have a restaurant.
We agree.
I got restaurant in the Fifth Ward too.
I know.
So when we talk about UEZ zone, and we see that the money's concentrated in a UEZ zone only in downtown, what about the other areas that are UEZ? So why they asking people on UEZ zone to be members? If they're not gonna be included, they excluding it. You know what? I don't wanna see people taking for granted the members and UEZ zone, or be a member of UEZ zone just for numbers to represent and to say that we have members, but we're not investing in those zones. That's what I want to prevent here. I see with green light, but when you come back with it and when we examine it, we're going to do a forensic if it's going to work. If it's not going to work,
Thank you. Councilman Woodin?
yeah, forensic analysis. Go ahead, Yuri.
Thank you, Council President. Director, for my clarification, I need that part. I understood the graffiti removal, beautification, and also holiday banners. All those things I understand. But when you talk about the promoting businesses, what does that mean to you? Like promoting what specific business or business areas?
Yeah, business areas. I think business times of like holiday periods.
Right.
I think ideas like
Council members, you're too loud. I
we
can't
were able
hear
to do some stuff during Ramadan last year that was like tailored for different communities, and so I think trying to lift up and to market the diversity of the Paterson business community is really the centerpiece of what this is about. And so we're basically using state funds as a way to do that.
Right, correct.
So, thank you, Director Powell.
Sure.
So again, I have to restate what Councilman Velez stated, that we are not just focusing on one specific area. I love that you mentioned 57 ethnicities. I love to see that implementation in your plan, that it's not covering just one particular section of Paterson, but the UZ zone that we are covering all different sections, promoting all different areas. I mean, I understand with $300,000, you cannot do everything, but whatever we do, make sure that we cover the entire area.
Absolutely.
For example, we do graffiti removal, just focus on one graffiti removal, or just holiday banners, but make sure that cover the entire city of Paterson, UZ zone. Thank you, Director.
Madam Clerk,
Yes, Mr. President.
roll call, please.
Roll call on item number 43 for approval. Councilwoman Khan? 43.
43.
All right, my vote is yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Once again, Director, this is the first shot. This is gonna be another conversation for this. We have to expand it. This item 43 talk about graffitis. I got graffiti on Brilliant Avenue, and it's a UEZ zone. I got graffiti on Riverside section, is a UEZ zone. And also Park Avenue in East 33rd is a UEZ zone. Broadway in East 33rd is a UEZ zone. None of those areas are reflected here based on the organization, based on the group that I see. And it's troubling to me to see the downtown sit when they have their own budget, which is another $300,000 that they should be doing this job. We should not be including this with them because they're supposed to be doing the job with their budget. With that being said, I'm looking forward to have that conversation with you when you come back with those proposals. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
And Councilman, if there's any other groups that you want me to include intentionally, just give them to me. I'll make sure they're here.
Right.
Councilman Mims?
I have a whole list.
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
If you come from Memorial Drive, Washington Avenue, that place needs renovation. It's UEZ zone. That little farm market, they sell fish, chicken, whatever. Think about that. Yes.
Your vote is yes, Councilman Velez?
Yes,
tell me to
Thank
vote
you.
yes.
Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I look at it like this, all of this UEZ money is like an extra hand for us, extra help. We should be doing all this stuff with our own budget already. This is, I consider, is an extra help from the state, and I think we are grateful, and we should continue supporting this UEZ
Yeah.
grant monies
We're all
to the
just fine.
UEZ department as well. Thank you. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 43 is hereby adopted. Number 44, Mr. President?
Yes, please.
Next item is item number 44, resolution approving the Paterson Urban Enterprise Zone, Division of the Department of Economic Development to utilize $700,000 of Urban Enterprise Zone Assistance Funds for solar-powered trash receptacle project, Finance Resolution 22637.
So move.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Moved
My
by
Velez.
Aye.
You didn't hear me?
Councilman
No,
Velez.
Councilwoman.
Or Councilwoman Davila. Second by Councilman Velez and Councilman
I
Mendez.
did the study in the
Discussion by
garbage can.
Discussion by Councilwoman Carr.
And then
And
Mims.
Discussion.
It's
She don't want
12:30
garbage
already,
can.
council members.
I know.
Councilwoman Carr.
I know. Thank you, Director. My concern is,
Okay.
and then Councilman Velez came in my ear to tell me that these recycled things that you want to put out, that they have a sensor on it, that's when somebody, once the sensors go off, that somebody come pick it up. I don't see that happening. I'm just sorry. We put them green garbage cans throughout our whole city. People call me up to say, come pick them up. I don't want them by my building. And so when UEZ, Michael Brown, when UEZ thought about those containers, it was a great idea. But they never thought about who was gonna pick it up, who was gonna pick up the garbage.
Right,
Now they relied on DPW to do this.
right.
And what's happening now for a lot of us, the people are going in the garbage. People are bringing their home garbage and putting it in the green garbage. Now convince me about this recycle, whatever containers, how it's gonna work. Convince me.
Well, you're exactly right, Councilwoman, and I think that that's fair, criticism in terms of how there are many UEZ receptacles that are out there and they're not being managed to the best of their abilities. I do think that that's part of what this is about, is trying to help complement our DPWs, not point fingers at them too.
Right.
And with this technology, because it's solar powered, it consistently compacts. And then again, the idea is that a text message will go to the person that's being led for this initiative as well. So I'm with you as well. I understand the skepticism in the general sense of, but I think we should try, and to the extent that we can use the new technology, single source technology, and I think they're really customizable. I think we can have some really positive messaging throughout the different commercial corridors, and I think we give it a go.
Council President.
Can I go somewhere and visit one of them and see what
Yeah.
it looked like?
And there's a whole packet here too that shows
Where can I go?
let's go have peace in Hoboken. There's a bunch of
Let's
them.
go
around.
somewhere, because I would love to see how it's
Let's
supposed to
move.
work.
Yeah.
You want to do a field trip?
I would, I really would.
Why?
Thank you, Michael.
Council President.
Council. Velez.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President. Director, you know, I have a serious concern. I understand that the new receptacle, they have a sensor that'll send a text message, but Park Avenue and East 33rd, I have 2 garbage cans in the corner. They're full of garbage in the morning, and everybody see it.
Because-
And I have to call 3 or 4 times sometimes.
They don't have sensor in the eyes.
For then it's the sensor of the eyes, which is the most important thing. And I have to call 3 or 4 times every day for them to go and pick up the garbage and empty it out. I'm very concerned with that amount. So I'm all about technology. I'm all about changing, moving forward. But also, I'm extremely concerned with the amount that we're planning to invest. $700,000, close to $1 million in those receptacles. So how many of those are we going to be able to purchase with $700,000? And what is the plan? How are we going to distribute that throughout the city? And the plan that we're going to have in connection with DPW and all of that for them to empty those garbage out.
They're about, the budget we currently have calls for getting 200 of them. And I agree with you that they need to be spatially located throughout the city so that it's equitable across the city. Maybe.
No, we're
and
getting 200.
I'm just shooting from the hip here, but much like Councilwoman Mims' idea of an overlay, maybe what we do is I can commit to bringing the geography of the locations before the council and you guys can approve it.
So you say 200, we're going to be able to purchase 200 of those receptacles with $700,000.
Yeah, they're about $3,500 each.
That's right.
Okay.
And they good.
Okay, so, wow. And have you,
Not with this
Director,
technology. Sorry.
since we got the money, since we got the $10 million, have you looked into other type of receptacle less expensive? Have you think about that idea?
My staff has. I haven't personally. I know that that there's a lot of excitement around this particular brand, and part of that is because of our good connection with DPW. I know Mike Jackson was very excited in working with Penny about this technology in particular. So again, we kind of look to our DPW guys to help us, much like we look to the police to help us with Operation, Clean and Safe as well. And so
It will be important to bring the director of DPW here.
Sure.
That way he could give us, his thought on this and how he planning to take care of those 200 receptacles throughout the city as well. So how is he gonna be able to have the manpower to provide services emptied out? So I have no more questions, Council.
Council President.
Councilwoman Mims, then Councilman Woodin, then Councilman Velez.
So some of the points that I had were already asked, but I have a few concerns. One, the amount of cans to $700,000. We're only getting 200 of these solar panel cans. Then the capacity is 50 gallons, is battery powered, needs a smart station because of the onboard GPS system, and it also needs cellular connection. So here are a few concerns. When we place them, are we gonna place smart stations as well near them? That's number one. Number two, are the areas where they will be placed, is it Wi-Fi connections in that area? Because when you look through your item on page 23, all of the cans require battery, smart station, onboard and cellular connection. Some things that we lack in some of the areas of Paterson. The other thing is, how are they picked up? Is it through a machine that it picks them up off the ground? Or is it where DPW opens the can and they're able to just take it out because it compresses through the machinery inside? Do we have the manpower? Because this will be in addition to the cans that we have. And I agree, Councilman Mendez talked about some areas, and I could talk about a few areas in our community where we consistently call where the garbage is overrun and different things. So I have a few questions, so I'm just gonna wait for your response, Director.
I don't have all the answers for you in terms of the smart station question with regards to, but I think that they are customizable, and what we tried to do is go middle of the road in terms of what would be allowable, but we like the technology, and again, it's really coming from our DPW guys, so we wanted to support them with the technology. But I'd be happy to report back.
I'm not gonna. So for me, it would have been nice, because this is not a first ring, or this means when we vote, that's it. It would have been nice to have this item with a DPW representative present, so we can ask, will they have the capacity and the manpower to fulfill this request? Because it doesn't make sense that we have some high-powered solar panel receptacles for garbage, and we don't have the manpower, we don't have the smart stations, we don't have it well thought out, and then we vote on this and it won't get done. So I don't even think we have that. I mean, these receptacles, 200, we have to have electric charging stations near each of these stations.
No, they're solar powered.
Well, why does it say in your thing, it says it needs,
Well, I guess maybe when it's cloudy and you have bad weather. So the batteries usually with solar, that's the technology. You work with a photovoltaic system and it connects to a battery system. And that's where the innovation's lying now, is really on the battery technology itself. But again, the idea is that they're basically allowed to work alone on themselves. They're self-sufficient. They might actually provide some of the Wi-Fi that you're talking about. I just don't have all the details here.
okay, so let me say this. That's not, in the diagram, it says the reason why it needs smart stations is because of the GPS capability. So it's not just solar, you have to have, I'm reading your document. This is what the document says.
Yeah.
It has to have, for the GPS, it has to have cellular connection, and it has to be powered up by a smart station. So that's not just solar. So we have to get all these things in place. It's saying solar is solar powered, but it also needs onboard, a smart station for the onboard GPS system. We need details of that. We can't say, approve this item, and it would have been nice, and I know we're voting on it tonight, but I would have liked to see that, and I don't know what everybody else is gonna vote, but if we don't know if it's gonna work and we have the manpower and the capacity to fulfill it, then we're voting on an item that's not gonna work. So, Council President, we need to look into this further.
On the next.
You didn't let me.
Thank you, Council President. Director, I love to use technology. This generation, I love to see uses of technology. But here's my understanding that we are using maximum 200, what's it called, trash can, which is powered by solar system. I understand that part. The highest one, which is the capacity of 150 gallons, and the small one, 50 gallons. So mixed of, you can get 175 to, with my math, average price is 175 to max 200, you can purchase. Now, here's the thing that everyday issue that our Patersonians are facing, which is trash are not getting collected on time because of the shortage of our, people. It's not because they don't want to pick up, it's because we don't have manpower. Now, I'm not sure how effective it would be to come up with this idea when the signal would come from the trash can to pick up the trash. Do we have enough people to go and respond to that while we have regular duties to collect trash?
Well, I think that that's part of what this is looking to do. It's designed to minimize the amount of cleanup that's necessary. It reduced the need for collections by up to 80%, and it reduces some of the occupational hazards that our guys have to go and deal with when there's like these huge messes like today.
Right.
Right. So the idea is that we're kind of hybridizing technology to help out. And honestly, I am not the expert on this type of technology, so I kind of relied on our colleagues at DPW, who I do think know pretty well what makes sense, and I know they're very excited about being able to get some technology like this on the street.
I'm excited too, but the point is,
No, this is,
instead of coming up with this idea, we may think about surveillance cameras to bring the areas under surveillance system to watch them. But when you're coming up with this, it's a great thing. I 100% agree with it. But for now, with my common sense says we are not ready for that yet. When we don't have enough people to collect trash from our cities, regular trash collection. When you're coming up with something like that, which is very new idea, which is great, if we would have enough people to collect trash when we get report. If you take a look at the app, Paterson Plus, take a look at the request every day from people.
Yes.
Forget about this call, automatic call. Think about residents' call that come into every day to our app. How many calls we are able to respond rapidly? Think about this part. And from that understanding, I believe this is not a good idea. I would rather, if I'm in your position, I would rather bring more surveillance system to bring under watch. And once you think we are ready, we are covering our regular duties, now you can think, okay, let's go to technology and let's do rapid action on things when trash are full. But as of now, I don't think, Director, we're ready for that.
Councilman Velez.
Well, once again, Councilman Velez, Director, you gotta sell it better, cause those trash cans what I understand is those cans are already there, and those garbage are already being picked up by our DPW department. We're gonna replace. They're supposed to pick it up. If they don't pick it up, for some reason they're not
let me
picking
be
it up.
his
I'm sorry,
attorney.
Council President, if I may.
Let me finish. I'm
after you
talking.
finish,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
fine.
talking. We're
What is it?
replacing basically those on easy zone, those cans in place already, with these electric trash cans. You understand what I'm saying, Councilwoman?
Council
For
President.
example, corner of Preakness and Union Avenue. You see the can there always overflowing? We're gonna replace him, and we're gonna put this beautiful
Yeah.
electronic trash can there. And they are picking up those trashes anyway, so we don't need
Council
extra hands.
President.
Council
Councilman, I got the floor.
Council President, so I understand what you're saying, but if I can just say this, do y'all see the transformation in Passaic? Do y'all see the new trash cans coming, all the things? What is it that we're saying here? We're putting a block. You just said, Council President,
Right.
that, these are additional monies coming to assist us. Something's gotta
Beautify,
give,
make
my
it better.
members.
That's what I think.
Council
Councilman
colleagues.
Council
Bella.
President.
Thank you, Council
I agree
We
with
President.
have to
Councilman.
better.
I got the floor,
What are we
please.
saying here?
Council-
We're
Council
roadblocking
President, I have
to
the floor.
better the city and the process.
I got the floor.
Please.
Oh, so
Councilman Bella.
Come to the committee meetings and express those.
So let me
issues there.
Let me listen. I said in both. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Ruby Khan, because he's yielded to me. I said in both important committee. I'm passionate with DPW, and I'm passionate with community economic development and public safety. I said that. Ladies and gentlemen, in the defense of DPW, they have a daily route to pick up garbage can in the corridors. They don't have the garbage cans. That's why our streets are dirty. They don't have garbage cans, ladies and gentlemen. I could have it. You know what people doing? Putting their garbage in bags in the ground because they don't know where to put the garbage because they don't have garbage cans. Now, Councilman Mendez stated that we need, see, when we go to Atlantic City, and we cannot be a hypocrite, right? We go every year to Atlantic City, and the first place we go is to the showroom. And the thing that we say is when we there, oh, this is good for our city. We see this truck, oh, that's good for our city. We see this garbage can, light poles, and all that stuff. This is good for our city. Let's be honest. We go there and bring brochures. And the first question that we ask them in those booth, are you a state contract? That's the first thing, because we want that in our city. Now, Mike Powell,
Yes.
have you visited Fairlawn? Yes.
Yeah.
Have you visited Hawthorne?
Yes.
Almo Park.
Yes.
Clifton, Passaic, all the way around us. They have this. Now, and the defense of DPW, they have a quarter to pick up garbage can, garbage and garbage can. They are not enough. While we had to educate our residents, especially business owners, okay, that, no, you know what happened? You know how many store owners I find them closing the store and putting their garbage in our garbage cans? Okay? And Councilman Mendez, how many times we don't see it? But we had to educate and change the culture of conduct of our city that this is going to work. Let me tell you why it's going to work. I went to Hoboken. I took a picture of one of them, okay? It has a little camera, okay? That little camera will identify who put a garbage can, or, you know, the hall is big, you know, it's not that too big. And it has a sign that says litter only, no large bag, no household trash, no business trash, $250 fine. Now,
thank you,
in the
Councilman.
bottom has a stop out cigarette butts here. So everybody that smoke could put the cigarette there and then stand and throw it in the ground, right? I went there, and let me tell you something. I saw myself, DPW workers, because one of them lit up the light. And it said, I said, how that works? Oh, it's connected to 1 hour basis in DPW, and the night crew is in charge to go there and take it out. The reason that people, listen, first of all, I'm tired to see our employees getting paid
Councilman,
less.
it's almost
Now
1
we
o'clock.
wanna
Let's
move
go. We
forward.
understand your point. Let's go, Councilman.
Councilman, you know that we want to change the
Yes.
polls that we have.
Yes.
You imagine they're going to tell us, oh, I like the big one, that up there, but I don't want the small one.
I agree with you.
So we have to put the city, not industrial city that we have. We got visitors coming from everywhere. You know what they're going to say? Oh, what's the garbage that I have in my city? They don't see it here. And this is the third largest city. So I think we should move forward with this
I didn't know.
and put it in the right location.
Thank you. Any other council members?
No, yeah.
Council
just
President.
Yeah, no.
Listen.
Councilman Mendez, then
I'll
roll call.
I'll be extremely brief.
Yes.
Council Kali, I mean, this debate is extremely important, and it's a good debate. Don't feel that, oh, we don't want the city to move forward with this. I mean, those are legitimate questions that we have. For example, we cannot compare Horton Process Park with the city of Paterson, because Paterson is the third largest city in the state of New Jersey. The amount of garbage that we produce is incredible. Now, the challenges that DPW, and you know, Director, the challenges that DPW had for to clean our city, to empty up those garbage is tremendous. I have to call DPW with garbage cans that I have in the third ward multiple times because they are extremely busy out there. So we're spending almost $1 million in this instead, $3,500 per receptacle. This is a major investment. We got to make sure that our director has a plan connected with this. Plus, I see that we need, you know, the GPS, cellular connection, the battery power. So there's a process to install those. I just want to make sure that we're not gonna say yes, director, and then after that, DPW is not gonna be ready to take this new challenge. So that's my concern. I'm ready to move forward, but I want to move forward in making sure that we have everything in place. That's all. Thank you, Council President. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Before we do the roll call, Madam Clerk, still
Please.
there's a long process. DPW has to put out a bid proposal out
I know
there.
they have.
With the DPW,
Yeah.
with their help, they have to go to our,
This is different because it's single source.
right.
However, all of your questions are valid and need to be adequately addressed.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 44 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Committee meetings are important because stuff that is being said to now should have been brought up in committee meeting, and you would have had all the answers that we needed to know and TV Land needed to know. Committee meetings are very important. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Councilwoman Davila?
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Cotton. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. To our resident in the city of Paterson, this resolution has $700,000 to be invested in 200 receptacles with new technology. We really want to see our city clean. There's a need. I'm just going to continue just pushing and advocating to make sure that we get the right plan. We understand that DPW has a big challenge to clean our city, and it's been an ongoing fight because of the amount of garbage that we produce. So, Director, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt with this. We have more discussion. I know we're going out for bid on this. This is gonna come back to us. And once you get this item, I know this is economic development item, but the director have to be included in this conversation. For now, my vote is yes.
Councilman Mims?
So, with all that has been stated, I would have loved, because I'm not on any of those committees, but I would have loved to see DPW present to see if they have the capacity to make sure that us spending $700,000 makes sense. We have to remember, it's great, we're grateful that we're getting $10 million, but is it feasible to say, put $700,000 into 200 solar panel cans to pick up garbage? We have to ask those questions, and what could have or should have been done is that we had the discussion with DPW present so we can make sure we have the capacity to get it done. The other issue or concern is, what is the plan? We want to move the city forward, but there's a mindset issue. We have people in our community that are throwing big bags of McDonald's out their car window. They are throwing stuff out the window. This is not going to solve it. 700,000 into these cans is not going to solve that problem. So you can still put 700,000. You're still going to have those issues. Still will have those issues that we have. And so I just think just because you have $10 million, you should just not spend it just anywhere. So Paterson, I'm not supporting this because I have not heard DPW talk about the capacity, how they can do and get this done. So my vote is no.
Councilman Udine?
Director, so if we talk about the that we don't have enough trash can out there, that's why people are throwing trash on the city street. That's right. I would rather buy more trash can, the regular one, than purchasing 200 only, spending $700,000. I understand this is grant money, does not mean we can use anywhere we want. We have to use it wisely. It's a great idea, maybe for the future. We have to think about whether our city is ready for this or not. If we think about this, to me, with my understanding, we are actually skipping some steps. That's what's happening at this moment. It's not that we want cities to stop here, we want city to move forward. Now, giving this technology out there and giving all the notification out there saying that, oh, do not throw bigger trash or this and that, this is not going to stop anything. We know there is a speed limit of 40 and still we drive in 60. That's on us. It's not just on the sign. Yes, sign should be there.
Reach.
To aware people that what's the limit. Now, this $700,000 we can use in other ways, effective ways, with my understanding. I understand we can compare, and we heard from our council members, it's not against anybody, everyone provided their personal opinion. Then we compare ourselves with other cities and towns, but we have to compare. We have to understand that what we are going through. Let's say all these trash cans are alarming because they are full. And we have the DPW people are not available because they are busy with other jobs because they don't have enough crews out there. What they are going to do? They have to turn the alarm off and sit down with this. My alarm is on in the morning and I decided not to go to work. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it off. This is exactly going to happen And I believe this is not right choice for now. And with that being said, Paterson, I'm not supporting this project. My vote is no.
Councilman Velez?
So, let me put a little bit of thought, on this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proving this for the UEZ zone. Council Davila, Council Rubik, we are proving this at the for the UEZ zone. 200 smart, intelligent, smart.
Can you?
Hold on, I have to make my point. Garbage can and recycling bin, I'm waiting for it. Because I have to put my 50 cent on the project. And you know what is my 50 cent on the project? When I see those 200 garbage cans, new, satellite, whatever it is, there, I gotta start promoting it. Making a video in Spanish, English, and I will invite my councilman to do it in Bangladesh. Okay? You know why? Our community needs to change the conduct, cultural conduct. I'm not talking about country. The culture of conduct. If we put, let me say it this way, we have to move at the era of Fred Flintstone. We need to move forward to put things that attract to people to do the right thing. You know why people don't put the garbage inside those little garbage cans that we see around the city hall? Because the bags are flowing away, because it's open and they throw it like it was basketball, it fall, I don't care. But when you put a new toy out there, when those kids, listen, look at the picture. They didn't put in a dog, they didn't put Khalik there, they didn't put Mims, they put a kid happy that he saw a what? A new garbage can. That means that will attract the people to do the right thing. I think that I'm ready to receive them. If they don't want it in their UEZ zone, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome them.
Thank you.
In my UEZ zone in the 5th Ward, now that I have the Great Falls.
Thank you.
So we got great food, great people, great falls, and great garbage can.
Your vote.
My vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We keep talking about extra work for DPW. Actually, we have some cans in those UE zones already, so it is not extra work. And if some of the council member want, instead of these, let me read it again, solar powered cans, instead of those, we want to put regular cans out there. The solar power can should be able to, is compacted. That means you could compare that to 4 regular cans. And we have to change our mindset. And I think this is the right way to go. We talk about plan, we put aside $200,000 for the planning. We talk about setting mindset, changing people mindset. The $300,000 for the advertisement and marketing, that's how you change people mindset. So money is allocated for all these things that we talk about. Planning, changing people mindset. We allocated those money already. So I think it's time for us to move forward with this item. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. The vote is 5 in favor, 2 against, 2 absent. Item number 44 is hereby adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Actually, I see these 2 gentlemen here. I didn't even know they were here for an item. I apologize to you guys. They're here for, you guys here for any item?
Ward Street.
2? Second reading item. Can we do item number 2, please?
Go ahead, Council President.
Number 2 for second reading, Mr. President?
Yes, please.
Next item on the agenda is our second reading ordinances, item number 2. And item number 2 for second reading, public hearing is required. An ordinance approving removal of deed restriction for property located at 11 Spruce Street and designated on the Paterson tax maps as Block 4802, Lot 20, Economic Development Ordinance 22067.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilwoman Mims. Public hearing is now open.
Seeing none, move to close.
Second.
Seeing none, move to close by Councilwoman Mims, second by Councilwoman Davila. Roll call to close the public hearing, Madam Clerk, on item 2.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the public hearing for item number 2. Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. The public hearing is now closed for item number 2.
Roll call on item number 2, Madam
Yes,
Clerk.
sir. Roll call on item number 2 for second reading. Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez, item number 2 for second reading. Yes, Okay. Mr. President,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
the vote is 7 in favor.
I'm sorry, guys, I didn't.
I'm not sorry. They get
They
paid more
getting
than
paid for
me.
being,
They get paid more than me.
they getting paid.
Madam Clerk, let's finish that
Be
non-consent
nice.
agenda item 45, 46, and 47, please.
Yes, sir. I have to finish.
what?
I have to announce the vote for number 2.
Okay, please.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 2 is hereby adopted on second reading. So number 45, Mr. President? Next, item 45?
Yes, please.
Next item on the agenda is item number 45, resolution authorizing award of contract to Outreach Partners to support the Paterson opioid response team from October 2022 to September 2023, Police Resolution 2263.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Davila and Councilwoman Mims. Roll call on item number 45.
Roll call on item number 45 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton? Yes. Councilman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 45 is hereby adopted. Next item is item number 46, sir. Mr. President?
Yes, please.
Yeah, next item is item number 46. Resolution authorizing payment to Junior Half-Tech Company, Inc. for emergency sewer main repairs and replacement up to 48 inches. Department of Public Works. Public Works
So
Resolution.
moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez and Councilwoman Mims.
Okay, let me finish, Mr. President.
Item number 46.
Public Works, Resolution 22639. And there's a motion by Councilman Davila.
Yes.
Second by
Me.
Councilman
Councilman
Velez
Velez and Councilwoman Mims.
and Councilman Mims. Roll call.
Roll call, please, on item
Yes,
46.
sir. Roll call on item number 46 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton? Councilman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
On time, please, next time. My vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 46 is hereby adopted.
Take 47.
47.
7.
Next item is item number 47. A resolution honoring Linda Brancano as part of the City of Paterson's 2022 observance of Hispanic Heritage Month administration. Resolution 22640.
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by-
Resolution 22640, and
So
this is
moved.
sponsored by
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Councilwoman Davila, second
Second.
by Councilman Velez,
I said second.
and this
second by
resolution.
Councilman Udine.
Are we gonna be in press
This
conference?
resolution is sponsored by the Honorable Andre Sayer, Mayor. So there's a motion by Councilman Davila.
Yes, we all want to.
Second by Councilman Velez and Councilman Udine.
Councilman
Udine,
Velez
Udine.
and Udine.
Roll call, please.
Roll call on item number 47 for approval. Councilwoman Cotton?
That's the mayor. honorary.
47.
Yes.
Councilwoman Davila?
Congratulations to Linda Broncano, our tax collector. My vote is yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mims?
Maybe when she accepts, she'll sing a little tune for us. Congratulations, well deserved. My vote is yes.
Councilman Udine?
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman Velez?
She greet me always when I go to the office. Oh, happy she is, a happy camper. So congratulations, well professional person. Let me tell you something, good pick from the mayor for that office. Like always saying, my vote is yes.
Mr. President?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 47 is hereby adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have
We have
What we got, committee report?
1, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3. We have 3 second reading left and 2
Oh my
first reading.
God.
Okay,
Yes.
did you want us to take number 2?
Yeah,
I
we
mean, I'm
did
sorry,
two.
number 1, I'm sorry.
Yes, let's do second reading, 1, 3,
Okay.
4.
Yes, next item on the agenda is the second reading ordinances. Item number 1, public hearing is required. An ordinance authorizing a lease agreement with the Paterson Housing Authority for an office space at 160 Ward Street, Paterson, New Jersey, Administration Ordinance 22066.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Ballas and Councilwoman Mims. Public hearing is now open.
Seeing on one, really.
Seeing none, move to close by Councilwoman Davila and second by Councilman Velez. Roll call to move close the public hearing on item 1, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the public hearing, item number 1. Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Mims?
Yes.
Councilman Udine? Yes. Councilman Velez?
Yes.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The public hearing is now closed for item number 1.
Roll call on item number 1, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Roll call on item number 1 for second reading. Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This has been a long time coming for ceasefire of Paterson, the only one in the state of New Jersey that has a civilian ceasefire component attached to it. Long time coming, ceasefire Paterson, Winnie Harris, we're finally getting it done. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Davila?
I am happy as well to support this. This is something that's been for a while before the pandemic, and then everything stopped, and now, they're able to have their own space. So with that said, in full support, my vote is yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm definitely in full support of this ordinance to support the ceasefire. I've been in those meetings. There's a group, they have a great structure, and they are there in the community. They really want to see Paterson better, and they want to see peace in our city. Before my vote, I think that we have to continue the conversation of having a shared services agreement with the Paterson Housing Authority. That's a conversation that it has to take place. We have to collaborate in better capacity. With that being said, my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
So,
Councilman Mims, I'm sorry.
so this is, as everyone stated, much needed, but for meetings as well as having storage space, I know it's been stated that we're utilizing their vehicles to store some of the important paperwork. So this is something that is long overdue. My vote is yes.
Outreach. I'm sorry, Councilman Mims, they said yes?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Councilman Udine?
Yes.
Councilman Velez?
Councilwoman Rubicon, do you recall the name of the office that Nancy Greer used to be at?
It's 1:10 in the morning, Councilman.
Huh?
Let's go.
You said neighborhood assistant?
Neighborhood assistant.
They know they can call on Councilwoman. She
I know,
kinda
but she always
remember-
available, but she had a full program there.
Yes.
And we should, BA, Madam BA, that really was a neighborhood assistant office. And it was real managed by this employee. Hopefully, never happens to this Winnie, how you call it, the ceasefire?
Yes.
That they be bouncing around or whatever. But based on the experience I saw in the past, but this administration knows what they're doing in this aspect to move forward the resources for the community. So my vote is yes.
Mr. President,
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
47 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 1 is hereby adopted on second reading.
Next item.
Next item is item number 3 for second reading. Public hearing is required. An ordinance authorizing the city of Paterson to acquire real property designated as Block 7304, lots 33 and 33.01 on the tax map of the city of Paterson, County of Passaic, and state of New Jersey, known and located at 163-177 Pennsylvania Avenue, Paterson, New Jersey. Economic Development Ordinance 2206.
So
Move.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by
Council here.
Councilman Velez and Councilwoman Mims.
Public
On
hearing.
item number 3,
Public hearing.
public hearing is now open.
See and
You don't want
no.
to move to close, please?
See no one, move to close by Councilman Mendez, second by Councilman Velez. Roll call to move to the close the public hearing, Madam Clerk, on item number 3.
Yes, sir. Roll call to close the public hearing. Item number 3, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Davila.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The public hearing is now closed for item number 3.
Roll call on item number 3, please,
Yes.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Roll call on item number 3 for second reading. Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Davila.
Yes.
The last piece.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
It's the last piece. My vote is yes.
Mr. President,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 3 is hereby adopted on second reading. Number 4.
Yes, Madam
Next
Clerk.
item is item number 4 for second reading, and public hearing is required. An ordinance establishing all-way stop control at the intersection of Pennsylvania Avenue and Florida Avenue. Department of Public Works Ordinance 22069.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Davila. Public hearing is open on item
See
number
and no
4.
move to close.
Second.
Seeing none, move to close by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call to close the public hearing on item number 4, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the public hearing. Item number 4, Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Davila.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
This is closing public portion?
Yes. Public hearing.
Oh, yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The public hearing is now closed for item number 4.
Roll call on item number 4, Madam
Yes,
Clerk.
sir. Roll call on item number 4 for second reading. Councilwoman Khan.
Yes.
Councilman Davila.
Can't take away this item, is definitely fully supported and being addressed by Councilman of the 6th Ward, Councilman of Abdulaziz. This area, heavy traffic and, accidents as well and speeding. So, I'm very happy, to be here. I know he's not here, but I wanted to, let the community know, that your 6th Ward Councilman is advocating on your behalf. With that said, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine.
Yes.
Councilman Velez.
To the residents of the 6th Ward, thank you. Oh, no, that's, it's not here, right? My vote is yes.
Mr. President,
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 4 is hereby adopted on second reading. Continue with the first reading, Mr. President.
Yes, madam.
Next item is our first reading ordinances, item number 5. And item number 5 for first reading, no public hearing is required.
So
An
moved.
ordinance requiring property owners to maintain and register vacant buildings with the Department of Economic Development, amending Paterson Code Chapter 271-47 through 51, Economic
So moved.
Development.
So moved.
Development.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez. No public hearing is required, so roll call on item number 5, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 5 for first reading. Councilwoman Khan,
Yes.
Councilman Davila.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Mims.
Yes.
Councilman Udine. Councilman Velez.
Oh, yes.
Mr. President,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
the vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 5 is hereby adopted on first reading, and second reading and public hearing will be held at the next regular meeting of October 25th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Next item is item number 6.
Yes, Madam
For
Clerk.
first reading, no public hearing is required. And item number 6 reads, on the ordinance amending Paterson Code Chapter 157-48, addressing foreclosing properties, economic development.
So move.
Moved by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez. Roll call on item number 6 on first reading.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call on item number 6 for first reading. Councilwoman Khan,
Yes.
Councilman Davila,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes.
Councilman Mims,
Yes.
Councilman Udine, Councilman Velez.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes, Madam
The
Clerk.
vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Item number 6 is hereby adopted on first reading. Second reading will be at the next regular meeting of October 25th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Mr. President, I do believe those are the items.
Motion to
on
close
agenda.
the regular meeting.
Motion to close by Councilwoman Davila, second by Councilman Velez. Roll call to close the meeting of tonight, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. President. Roll call to close the regular meeting of October 11, 2022. Councilwoman Khan.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say I want to still give my condolences to Crystal Cleve's family, to her 2 sisters, Penny and Rhonda. Your sister will be truly missed by the community because she was such a community person. She was a lovely person. She cared about everything that goes on in our community. Also to the family of Dorothy C. Rowe of Calvary Baptist Church, her funeral will be on Friday and Saturday of this coming week, and my condolences goes out to the family. I just want to say also that coming up this weekend, I'm excited that we have Essence Carson's going to be in the city. We're having a dinner on Friday at Christ Temple. I think it's Christ United Church. If you're still interested in come seeing our Patersonian WNBA player, please contact myself or even Councilwoman Mims and Deborah Major for tickets. The dinner is Friday night, and she will be doing a free basketball clinic for our young people at Eastside High School, where she played for, and then, she also ran track with my son at Eastside High School. And then following week, but we'll meet again. Councilwoman Mims and I are part of the National Council of Negro Women. We are having a luncheon on the 22nd of October. We have not had a luncheon in 3 years. So we're looking forward to that. If you're interested in attending, please do come out. There's so much that, please be on the lookout that I'll be doing my crime prevention through a vibrant design. Also, new city parks, I will be reaching out to other people in the community about what the design that you would like to see, what it look like for the new park, for Barber Park, and for Vera Ames Community Park. Please be on the lookout. We'll be setting that up. And I just want to say to our Corporation Counsel, Amen, I never say your name right. Abushi. I said amen all the time, but to our BA, Kathleen Long, to our Madam Clerk, Sonia Gordon, to our Secretary, Executive, I want to put Executive in there, Sophia. I just want to wish you well. God bless you all out there tonight. Have a good night. My council colleagues, we can beat each other up, but you know what? Remember what I said. We may not vote the same, but at least learn how to say good night. Love you guys. Everyone, good night. Our court reporter up there, thank you, sweetie. You just you hang in there with us. Thank you so much. Abilene? Her name?
I'm Melinda.
I'm Melinda. I don't know how I keep forgetting that. You done been with me for 10 years, right? I know. Thank you. Have a good night. Paterson community, God bless you all. Have a great night. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman Davila.
I'll be very brief. Again, I know that throughout our meeting today and through our social medias, we've been giving our condolences to the Cleves Clark family, but I'll continue to keep the family in prayer, the sisters Rhonda and Penny, along with the mom and her daughter Ivy and her grandbabies. Can't say it enough, I'm truly gonna miss you, and I just thank you, for the time that God gave us, and thank you for your friendship. I promised my students, and this is something that is very near and dear to me, so I have to announce it. And Ming, if you're there, I really want you to, in a minute, to just focus on this flyer. Our Honor Society Phi Theta Kappa students and our PCC Foundation, so it's not the college, but our foundation, is doing their 7th annual 5K run walk for completion, October 22nd. It starts at 7 o'clock. Registration at 8 a.m. We will start in Wanacue. I told them that I would, support, as I have been for the last years, supporting student scholarships. We help hundreds of students through our foundation to be able to go to school, to assist them with monies for books, completing, payment of their tuition. And so we need all the support that we can. If you're not able to be part of the 5K run, there is a way that you can also make a donation, and I would highly appreciate it. There's different sponsor opportunities from 1,000 to 500 to 750 to 250, or anything that you can give to provide to our foundation for our students, which are our county residents, big majority, from the city of Paterson. Thank you so much. Thank you, Council President. I know it's been a difficult meeting, and I'm with Councilwoman Cotton. We don't necessarily always have to, we can agree to disagree, be respectful, and Madam BA and Corporation Counsel, along with our Madam Clerk and Sophia, thank you so much. To the rest of my colleagues, good night. God bless you all. My vote is yes to close the regular meeting.
Thank you. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you. Don't leave, Madam BA. Okay. So Patterson residents, let's continue having our Crystal Clee family in our prayer, our sister. We know she's in heaven. It's been a tough couple of days. I remember when Dr. Chris Irving called me with that bad news. It was heartbreaking, but we have to support our sister Crystal Clee family. They know I'm here for them, and I know we all here for the family. Madam BA, there was a fire on East 82nd in the 3rd Ward. There was a abandoned property. That property was abandoned for close to, I would say, over 15 years. The city never took action on that property. So there was a squatter that got in there, and they got the house on fire. 7 property around the area were affected, Madam BA. I have a situation, 594 11th Avenue. I've been, advocating for that property to be demolished since I became a councilman in the 3rd Ward. I have a conversation with the Director of Economic Development. I have a conversation with the Fire Chief, because it's a safety hazard. The property, the chimney is about to fall down to the right. There's a multiple family with a lot of children right next to that property. I went inside and I removed the squatter from inside the property out. It's getting cold. We got people, squatter, that are getting into that property, and they're gonna catch the house on fire. It's heartbreaking for me to see that what happened on East 82nd, and I could definitely not allow that to happen on 594 11th Avenue. So please take note of this. I contact everybody. I did my job as a councilman. Now the ball is in the administration. Let's not wait for a tragedy to happen on this location. 594 11th Avenue. I think I mentioned Corporation Counsel. I mentioned that information to you as well. And I have, Economic Development Director Mike Powell. They all know. They all have the information, and they went through the whole process, Madam BA. Let's avoid a tragedy to happen in this location. So with that being said, to our 3rd Ward residents, we're going hard on those commercial vehicles to be parking overnight throughout the 3rd Ward. resident of the third ward, you got my cell phone number, my direct number, which is 973-930-1436. And our Zoom meeting on Monday, we're gonna talk about quality of life, and we're gonna talk about those legislation that we have in place. So with that being said, my vote is yes. Good night, Paterson. God bless you all.
Thank you, Councilman Mims.
So I'll be very quick and brief. Condolences continue to go out to the Cleves Thompson family and the passing of our commissioner and my sister with the Passaic County NJ Links, Crystal Cleves, for her sisters, her mom, her daughter, her 3 grandchildren. But also I want to pray for the Rowe family and the passing of Mrs. Rowe, who was one of my sorority sisters as well. Her services will be this Friday and this Saturday. If you're available, her husband was a great pillar in this community, and her vision was the daycare portion of the church, so the Family Life Center, I believe it's called. But please come out this Friday night to Calvary Baptist Church or Saturday morning for the funeral service, which will be held this week. I also want to say it's after midnight. Happy birthday to my beautiful granddaughter. She is 6 years old. Congratulations, happy birthday, and congratulations on your surprise gifts. And also to my niece, my 2 nieces, whose birthdays are exactly the same day, 3 years apart. I want to say happy birthday to Alana and Alicia. And Alana had her amazing Sweet 16 on Sunday at the Brownstone. I thought the floor was going to cave in, but it was really great to see kids have a great time. And the blessing was my mom was able to really be a part of that, so I'm really happy. And thank you for the prayers for my mom, who is doing much better. All your calls, your texts, and all your areas of concern when my mom was really going through. I really appreciate it. Madam Clerk, thank you for all you do. Sophia, Corporation Counsel, all the chocolate. Madam VA, CFO, Melinda, Tameen, and I'm not sure who else is up there. All my council colleagues, let's keep praying one for another. Let's move forward. Good morning. My vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Udine?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Paterson. It's 1:30 already. So one more announcement that I'd like to make this Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Fireman Hall on Walnut Street. Our Democrat candidate that are running upcoming election on November 8th, they are coming to meet and greet with the community. So if you are available, and I also invite all my council colleagues, so please be there at the Fireman Hall at 7 o'clock this Friday. All the candidates would be there, also community members would be there. I thank everyone for being here with us. Thanks to my council colleagues for being supportive to me, and have a wonderful night, everyone.
Councilman Velez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. She reminded us we had to be out of the building at 2 o'clock because now the alarm
goes off at 2.
The alarm
Yes.
goes off. All right, so that means we need to be out of here now. Not last but least, I want to say thank you to all my colleagues, to all the administration, to all the community that came out on October 2nd, to the Dominican and Puerto Rico hurricane relief. It was a total success. The containers arrived tonight, well, this last night, about 10 o'clock at night, Tuesday. I just wanted to say to my constituent, I'll be directing myself tomorrow to Dominican Republic and with a team, God will, and to distribute this to the most needed individual down in the island. So keep us in your prayer.
You gonna be with the president?
Please, at any funeral event or
Are you
any
with the
activities from here to next week. But I'm gonna be accessible at 201-815-9413. If you need more information, you could call Ruby Kine. She always backed me up in the office. And the councilman at large, Marissa Davila, or any at-large councilman that like to work overtime, please assist me in the 5th Ward. It's okay. Yes, I say. Did I say Dr. Mims? Oh, okay. Please stay together. Thank you to the police officers of Paterson for being here with us. Madam Clerk, thank you for your service. Keep us in prayer. And we are ready for the new garbage cans. My vote is yes.
Mr. President?
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're
Good
welcome.
night, everyone. My vote is yes.
Thank you. The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The regular meeting of October 11, 2022 is hereby adjourned. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, to put things in the,